All right, Jeff.
Yep.
Man, we've been waiting a long time for this one, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
So let's just get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us today, Tracy Ruble, Chris Ruble, the Fast Mothers, everybody.
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on?
Welcome to the
folks?
studio, guys.
And the Southern Heavyweight Champions of Rock and Roll. We're going to get to that too.
Yep.
You're damn right.
Yeah, you're damn right. You know, I forget what night it was. Oh, it was the night you guys took the stage at Neil's.
Yes,
Impromptu.
with Sean Pugh.
And after your set, I saw you and I'm looking at Chris here. Chris, I saw you with your hand bleeding.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then I go up to you. I'm like, damn, man, that's why you're the heavy champion of the world. And you know what you said? You're damn right.
You're damn right.
So I just laughed.
War
Man.
wounds. They were war wounds.
I tell you what, I felt so bad for all the blood on Jimmy Fulp's snare
Uh-huh.
and all over the sticks. I should have laid the sticks to the side, but for some reason, I left them right there on the drums. Like, here you go, dude.
Talk about leaving it on the field.
All kinds of stuff to talk about, fellas.
Yeah.
My
Sure.
goodness. You know, and it's cool that, you know, leading up to this, I feel like we've built a relationship.
Absolutely.
And I think it's outstanding. And I'm glad I'm not just meeting you 5 minutes before these microphones turn on, because often we're stuck in that place too.
Absolutely.
That's true. And we're thankful for you guys for setting a platform
Mhm.
so that even I'm learning stuff about musicians I've known for
Yep.
years by watching this podcast.
It's one of the best comments I can get and feedback that I get from people is when they learn something new about a lifelong friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
it's the
because
best.
we're the biggest Memphis music fans, the artists, the songwriters, the musicians. I mean, we're fans first,
Yeah.
and we're always looking for that extra knowledge
Yeah.
so that we know where we come from. And
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be talking about.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, we want to know the history of the Ruble brothers. We're going to talk about your dad, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
I did a little bit of research, tried to, pull him up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your wrestling belt. Obviously the Fast Mothers, the way, history of it. And currently,
Yeah.
we can talk about how you guys, made a really grand announcement. Let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
Let's do it right now. You guys posted this great post of the pictures of you guys rehearsing.
Yes.
And that was outstanding because I can't speak for everybody, but I guess me and Jeff, we were always like, wonder what's going to happen because Cricket is being, he was diagnosed with cancer. And so it's all, at least I was wondering what was going on.
Well, Cricket is such a strong person that, in fact, he has his rough weeks, he has his good weeks, but he has never, ever lost the determination to keep playing. Every time we rehearse, every time, when we went up to Neil's to spend his birthday, it was his idea. He wants to get up and jam.
Cool.
And he's doing great.
That was his idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
that gave us, some hope and everything. But Cricket had a few things going his way. The fact that he's a young man, younger than
Younger
some
than us.
people in the band, and he is the youngest one in the band. But he was young. They caught it in time, and being young, he's been able to respond to the treatment, and the chemo just hadn't been as bad as I've seen it in people. So he's just pulling through.
That's great.
Yeah,
Man, that's
absolutely.
outstanding. And is he really on board to get this back rolling?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, he kind of give us a timeline. Even though we'll give an update right now. He has 2 more treatments left, and probably by the time this airs, those will be over.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then a surgery. So he expects a full recovery at least by July or August, and
Awesome.
that's when we plan on announcing his show date for
Cool.
one of those 2 months.
Okay, so you're not looking to play until later summer?
Probably.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We just want to give him time to, like I said, these get-togethers have been Cricket's ideas, and and we haven't want to push him.
Right.
But it's great that he's kind of pushing us.
He needs it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, who
we all
needs,
need this.
We all need this, but imagine how much he wants it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's just full on board. We're going to get past this, and then we're going to pick up where we started. Is his attitude.
Well, I can't
That's
wait
great.
for that show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little selfish because when we started this podcast, we had just seen them or would be seeing them soon, the Fast Mothers. I've known who you guys are for years.
Yeah, we've known.
But I got out of the scene for a long time, and I just wasn't going to see shows. But once I saw you guys live, I was like, we got to get to more of these shows. And then Cricket got sick. And so I'm ready, man. I'm ready for a Fast Mother show.
Absolutely.
So we got to get him healthy and get you guys back out there doing what you do.
We can't wait. We're on our 19th year. And quite frankly, the Fast Mothers are not going anywhere. That's this is what we love. This is what we do. And so, yeah, we're not going anywhere, babies.
Awesome.
Yes.
Babies.
And we have to mention the tremendous support from the rest of the guys, Wayne and John, Alan Bone, the whole family together, Danny Day, Steve Owens. Everyone has just been a great support for us as well as
But
cricket.
that's what you see with the bands, all the bands. You and I were talking earlier in the 80s when everyone was getting signed record deals. There was a competition. There wasn't real camaraderie like you see today. And I do believe it's because we're older and more mature. But just look around. That's all I got to do is look around in amazement at the musicians that I'm surrounded by, and musicians that give me the time of day to even compliment me blows my freaking mind, man.
Well, Memphis, we've learned, is full of amazing talent and incredible musicians, and you guys are a part of that. Fast Mothers are
thank you
an amazing band.
Well, I mean, and we're going through our own experience with this podcast, especially for me, because I'm jumping into a pool of people I really didn't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's been fascinating
to
get to know guys like yourselves and come out and support and see Fever Tree and get to know all those guys. Every member of Fever Tree's been on the show now.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I'm saying?
And they should be. What a sweetheart group of guys, except for
fun,
Rocco.
Rock and Roll Cabbage?
Man,
Yeah, exactly.
You know that story too.
Oh, he's naked again.
We featured the candle on the podcast.
Oh, no way.
There's a
And
picture of me.
how did you feel about that?
Really?
It smelled pretty good. I don't know.
He's a great guy. The whole group. I mean,
all right, Fever Tree's got enough love. All right, the Fast Mothers. All right. So, God, I don't know where to start. So, I mean, you guys are Memphis ingrained, right?
Yes.
And do you guys want to start with your childhoods and how you guys started? And of course, let's tie it in with your dad, Tommy, because obviously he must have been a huge influence on you, because Tommy was into rockabilly, right?
Yes.
So what was that like growing up with your dad and you guys just starting to play and find your way musically? What was that like?
It's just something that we've known since we were babies. There's not a time I can't remember being surrounded by musicians. And as kids, we'd walk through the den to go get a little bowl of cereal or something. We're stepping over musicians, hippies, passed out people. And
Daddy, is he alive?
Really? But the instruments, and we would sneak through the house and kind of tap on the instruments, pick up the guitar. And so there was never a time that we never did know, because Dad had his infamous spaghetti parties and just a who's who.
Spaghetti parties. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, he would feed a lot of the musicians. They'd just throw a big party. Everyone would come to the house. And, on maybe one or two occasions, some unique guests showed up. And at the time, we had no clue who these folks were. I remember Isaac Hayes, or this is what Mom tells us. Isaac Hayes brought Rita Coolidge and Rita Coolidge's sister to the house, and that Tracy and I were so afraid of Isaac Hayes because he's a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
And he always was, not just the persona, but he was a great big man. But at the same time that we followed Rita and her sister around like little puppy dogs, just at the angles.
Yes, Rita Coolidge was hot.
Yes. Yes.
Kicking the Rubles off like little dogs.
Yeah,
little
exactly.
poodles.
Well, that still happens, but yeah.
But
You guys are twins, right?
That's correct.
That's crazy.
By 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes.
Jeff, let's try to guess the older one. Who do you think's the older
I'm
of the
not
two?
playing that game.
I am.
Come
I
on,
know
you got a
better.
50-50 shot.
No.
I honestly don't know. You guys,
What do you say?
I think it's you. I think it's Tracy.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that because I do act a little more mature. Actually, Chris is the older.
okay.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Was that a bone of contention growing up?
Oh, absolutely. I used it against him. He could come in my room for 10 minutes at a time. Maybe 10 minutes I'll get back.
I was not
back
cool
with him.
enough to hang out because I was 10 minutes younger. But
There was a lot of competition as
Yeah, I'm
twins.
sure.
You know.
Sure.
they didn't have ultrasound in the hospitals when we were born.
Right.
Mainly the military used it, but so they didn't really implement it in the hospital. So Chris and I were back to back, same heartbeat. They just thought we was one big baby, and it was Mother's Day, 1968, and she said, the doctor said, "Yeah, you got a boy." She was like, "Okay, good. I'm glad that's over." He goes, "Oh, Miss Ruble, we have another one."
Oh, man.
So yeah, I was a total surprise.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Look at you now.
Yeah, I
You
know.
guys are on the Silly Podcast. No,
No, we made it.
but. So when did you guys get serious as musicians?
Well, actually, I could speak. Tracy was serious long before I really,
Right.
got involved.
Chris is still a virgin,
Yeah,
That's right.
Pretty
a
much.
rock virgin.
Pretty much. But as a teen, Tracy had a lot of bands that he played with, and one of those bands was called Thrust, and
Yep.
he, they got some national attention, at a young age, and of course it never went anywhere, but the exposure was nice and lesson learned, and but a great group of musicians, and I was Tracy's drum tech per se. It was just a way for me to get to the shows for free
Sure.
and hang out with everyone.
Drink beer.
But I
So-
watched
so-
them for years before I decided to join them.
So little brother is telling older brother what to do.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much.
he still doesn't listen to me, as much as I would like for him to. But yeah, it's much better now. It used to be. I mean, we were like the Black Crows. We were at each other's throats, and but because Chris and I have been that way, and we know that we're just one being.
Mm-hmm.
We're a split egg, but we're one being, and it's a battery. You got a positive and negative, and either role is reversed with us, and it's like the battery that makes the truck run.
Yeah.
But we don't argue near as much as.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Well, that comes with age too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I really want to now, let's focus on your dad very specifically
Sure.
now, because I'm fascinated to learn more about
Yes.
Tommy Ruble. So what was his history? Like
Well-
what put his name on the map musically?
Yeah,
Well-
he came. He was born in West Texas, and he's also inducted into the West Texas Music Hall of Fame. And
For rockabilly music.
yeah, for rockabilly.
Is he a singer, guitar player, songwriter?
Singer.
Singer
and actually, he was born in New Orleans and moved to West Texas at a young
that's
age.
right.
Did he play guitar or was just a singer?
Just a singer.
Singer.
Entertainer. My dad really never claimed to be a singer. He was his claim to fame was entertainment, but
he had a beautiful voice.
he had a set of pipes. So
So he from New Orleans to West Texas with the Cavaliers, and Dad spent quite a lot of years with the Cavaliers. Unfortunately, he left the band, and J. Frank Wilson replaced him, and they had the big hit
Last Kiss.
Last Kiss.
Mhm.
Where can my baby be?
Oh yeah.
The Lord took her away from me.
Yeah.
So
I remember that song for sure.
So Dad comes from the Cavaliers, and then he goes back to New Orleans, and they're on a kind of a tour with Fats Domino, who's from New Orleans as well, and Sam the Sham, the Pharaohs.
Mm-hmm. Bully.
Yeah. All three of them, Dad and Sam, and they all moved to Memphis because there was a scene going on in Memphis, Elvis and everything.
Sure.
And out of everyone, Dad and Sam, Zamu, is it Zamu?
I can't remember.
Sam the Sham.
Mm-hmm.
He and Dad ended up staying there in Memphis. And then Dad started putting out solo records in the 70s. One of his records hit the top country, number 25 in LA country charts. And he just stayed in Memphis and performed.
Yeah.
But he promoted Memphis everywhere he went. He was well versed in Memphis music history. He made sure that Tracy and I not only knew the artists that he surrounded himself with, but even the younger and up and coming artists. As he was getting up in age, he would mention folks like Jimmy Jamison. Of course, Larry Raspberry was always mentioned, and John Kilsner, folks like that. And so he made it a point to make sure that we knew the whole deal of where we come from and how rich the Memphis music scene is.
Well, you guys have definitely continued the tradition.
Yep.
Oh, well, because we're fans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
We're
bottom
fans of
line.
music, fans of Memphis music, and we just enjoy representing Memphis, saying, we are Memphis musicians, and we're surrounded by a bunch of them, and I've seen a bunch of them on your podcast. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow night's episode is one of your old buddies, Dave Flexer.
Yes.
Dr.
So-
Let's
David
talk
Flexer.
about Thrust and Bad Apple.
Yeah.
Both bands with David Flexer, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's talk about them.
Dr. Flexer, please come to admissions. Dr. Flexer. Man, what a guy. Flexer and I go way back.
Yeah.
And I think he did tell you the story. Beer. I think he did tell you the
Beer
story.
30.
It's been beer 30 for a while. He I first met David Flexer in the high school parking lot, Wooddale High School. And he was something that, quite frankly, we haven't seen, his hair was long and just, he had the rock and roll sunglasses on. He was in a badass Trans Am. And
was the bird on the hood?
yeah, it
Yes.
was, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, and I'm coming out of school, and a bunch of my friends are just all gathered around him. It looks like he's a rock star. Well, I'm only human. I was a little jealous. All the girls were surrounding him, and I was just like, usually all the girls were surrounding me. No, so there was a little bit of just a little tension there. Anyway, he comes over that very night to a party we were having. And so I meet him in the front yard, and I'm just bucking up on him, like a asshole. And
Yes, asshole.
yeah, and I said, "What? You want to fight?" He goes, "No, man, I'm a guitar player." And I said, "Really? I'm a drummer." And the rest is history.
There you go.
He and I went back up to my house and hung out.
Yes,
dude. That's
yes,
funny
I've
as hell,
been waiting on that. You don't know how long.
Have we been bewitched or something? What was that?
It was just a nice moment.
It was a magical moment.
Yeah.
I felt
These
it.
magical moments. But anyway, so Flexer and I, we meet this cat, Ty Crook, and he's from L.A. And just immediately, I mean, coming from Memphis, Ty Crook had these kind of Memphis chops, his vocals, and
His family's from Memphis.
yeah,
so
his
he had that
the
connection.
Crooks, Wayne Crook, and Rennie Crook. And so we meet him, and we've already played in a band with Billy Little. So we're putting a band together, Ty, Flexer, and I, and then Billy Little. And then Billy Little was like Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. That was his idol. So I had to play like the drummer for Iron Maiden, man.
Yeah.
I had to just
It's a tall order.
The upbeat,
Push and
Man,
drive.
push, yeah.
It was the horse trot, fast horse trot,
that's
man.
it. Yeah,
And
the galloping sound.
Yeah.
exactly. And Billy made me a better drummer because I had to keep up with him. We used to call Billy Sergeant Bill because he would direct thrust music to make it tighter, and he would make us work on these intricate the turnarounds,
Right.
and they weren't just turnarounds. They were bass riffs, Flexer's guitar riff,
Right.
and everyone had to be on time with that.
Sure.
But anyway, and then like I said, we started enjoying success in Memphis. Everyone was getting signed, Roxy Blue.
So we're talking late 80s, 89, 90?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like that same era for everyone. And I'm guessing eventually we're getting to the point where the album Nevermind changed things for you, right?
It did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. So everyone's getting signed, Roxy Blue, Tora, Every Mother's Nightmare, Thrust, just numerous bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're set to have Memphis rock and roll, be national. And then, like you said, man, Kurt Cobain comes in, and the Seattle scene, which I grew to like. I really did grow to like. I grew to appreciate. But I remember this chick coming into Rascals one night, about 1 year before Nevermind came out, and she was talking about you got to see this band Soundgarden, you got to see Nirvana, you got to see
Alice in Chains, probably.
Alice in
right?
Chains, Mother Love Bone.
Mm-hmm.
And it just everyone's record deal went down.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what happened.
I mean, it was so cut and dry.
Yeah.
It was just out, done.
Yep, it was. 1 minute you're on top. 10 seconds later, you're not.
Right.
If the generation of all of the bands you listed off were just, instead of hitting at 90, hitting at 87.
Yeah.
Different story. If
Absolutely.
Memphis would have got that same attention just maybe 2 years earlier,
Sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
it would have given you guys time to really establish, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe there would have been longer staying power for the Memphis scene.
You're exactly right. And we were all so young, but it just I think it's hit and miss. It could have been a couple of years earlier. It might have been total exposure.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
Absolutely.
But it is what it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you move on. So what was it like after that? Thrust ends and
It
sort of
was bad apple.
was it
Misery.
So is for some, and I would guess you must have been like a dream not happening.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, 1 minute I'm at Christmas time, I was like, I'm being managed by Gene Simmons from freaking Kiss.
Yeah.
and less than a year later,
you're ripped off by Gene Simmons
Yeah.
from Kiss.
Gene does some manipulation and of course they did to Ty Crook what they did with Jimmy Jameson. They took Jimmy Jameson out of Cobra because Cobra was getting signed.
Mm-hmm.
They took Jimmy Jameson and put him with Survivor. So the rest of the Cobra, and
they took a hit, didn't they?
And thrust, all three of us, Flexer, Billy, and myself, took a hit, and Ty did go on to some big things, for a while. But it just after that, tenacity kicks in, man, and so Flexer and Billy and I stuck together. We started a band called Mary Jane Freeze.
I remember that band.
Yeah, I had to sing and play drums at the same time. It was ridiculous.
I think I only saw you guys live once.
It didn't last that long.
But
it
stuck out to me. I remember it vividly, and I remember you singing and playing, and I just remember digging it. But I'd loved Thrust the entire time you guys had your run. I was at shows and big fan. And
thank you.
So I remember Mary Jane Freeze vividly, even though I only saw you once.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. And then after that, Flexer and I started Bad Apple.
Mm-hmm.
This was around 2000, I would think.
I would say probably from 98, 99 to 2000. Maybe it lasted maybe 3 or 4 years. A hot 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They were getting national attention as well in a time where not a lot of record companies were here. I think Breaking Point got a record deal here during that time.
There was a few people.
Dust for Life.
I remember them.
Yeah.
So, but there again, the scene's hit and miss. I think once they grew up, and Bad Apple was a tremendous band as far as stage shows, songs, and didn't mean to steal your thunder on your own band, but I was there. I witnessed it.
Sure.
You were the fan.
I'm the fan, absolutely.
And then, of course, after Bad Apple, we're here with, finally approached my brother about playing drums.
Good. I wanted to pivot there too. So now let's talk about how Chris got started, right?
Well, I've been around, I've watched them all when they were all teenagers, all the bands that got signed. I was there as a fan.
And not a musician in any way? Or
well,
This is his first band, 19 years, right?
Yeah, actually my first real band, I guess you would say. But no, I took a different route. I got married at a young age. I moved in with a girl when I was in 11th grade in high school. So I finished school. I went on. I took my shot at the corporate world. I worked a little while for the family business, breaking legs and collecting rent. And no, it was the arcade game, vending business. Yeah. But no, after our father passed, Tracy said, hey, I want to honor Dad, and I'm going to form a band, and you're going to play drums. And I was like, what?
Yes.
I got a nice career going.
You were summoned.
Yeah, I was. And I went out, I bought a drum set. Tracy borrowed an acoustic guitar from a friend of ours, Billy Wilson, thank you. And bought a guitar, and it had a small little amp, and it had 2 settings, clean, and speaking of grunge, it had a grunge setting.
Okay.
So Tracy taught himself like 3 Keith Richards chords. That's what I call
3
them.
Elvis chords.
3 Elvis chords.
You can write thousands of songs.
We did.
3 chords.
Absolutely.
We wrote 12 songs with those 3 chords and had them on a jam box, and we listened back to it. And
so right out of the gate, it became creative.
Chris already had an idea about drums, and I knew he could play.
Well, he'd been watching you for years, so he had an idea of what was going on.
Yeah. So when he saw the opportunity, then he jumped right in, and he and I started in his garage, just he and I, and then all of a sudden, we were looking for musicians. All of a sudden, they're just coming out of the woodwork, and I remember Blake fabulous guitar player.
Blake Ryan.
Yeah, Blake Ryan. He comes and he says, "Man, I'm kind of interested in what y'all are doing, kind of Black Crowes, kind of Southern rock."
Yeah.
And he was so good. I was like, "What does this cat want with us?" You know.
And it grew over the years to now Wayne and Cricket have been with us for 4 studio records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wayne writes most of the songs. Of course, Cricket's written 2 or 3 songs. John just contributed on the latest record. And, we've just been blessed to be surrounded by... Tracy and I freak out. We go, we can't believe these guys are playing with us, you know?
Yeah,
And
I mean, Cricket Warren and Wayne Walker, John Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, these are top cats.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
And,
But you guys are too. Don't sell yourselves short.
Wow.
You know,
thank you.
you're being very humble, but the thing works because there's 5 of you.
Yeah.
And all 5 of you are contributing in your own way. And
absolutely.
Absolutely. The magic just happens.
And coming from a fan here, now that I've been able to see you guys play twice, both at Neil's. One was when Every Mother's Nightmare and the Fever Tree was playing the same night. And then when you guys came up on the stage, it was New Year's Eve. It was 6 Feet Thunder was hosting. And you guys jumped up and everything. So I've got a nice little sample of you guys. Sure. And, there's magic with the brotherhood here because Tracy, you're all the energy on the front end. Like you really make it electric. Right?
Yes.
But then you got your boy back on the drums who's hanging it back. You are just so
like
on the back
Watts.
end. So that tug and maybe that yin to yang or what you guys were saying is a piece.
Sure.
One's pushing, one's pulling back. And then the guys surrounding you are just locking right in with it and everything.
God,
and it just makes a really big sound. And the name that comes to my mind that I've said several times is Blackberry Smoke.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
that's what I hear.
What a
with you
great
guys.
band!
Yeah.
God.
So,
God,
anyways,
man.
that's I just wanted to, as a fan, that's what I really appreciate the most.
Well, I appreciate it. That's what we strive to
That's
do.
exactly what we try to do is get that response.
Yeah. So
yeah, and one thing I want to say about your performing, and I'm kind of geeking out here, and yes, I can be a fanboy at times, but I told Derek the first night that we saw you guys, I leaned over to him and I said, you can't fake what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not. You can't fake that. It is so genuine. Yeah. And you're not just a singer, you're an entertainer.
Yes.
Because what you're doing up there is just so real and to me is just so raw.
Yep.
And it's just fun to watch.
Man, if you try to fake it in Memphis, you're going to get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah. You will be spotted if you're faking it in Memphis.
I feel the pressure every time this microphone is on in front of me now to just be honest, man. Just be real with yourself.
Well, you have to. I mean, Memphis is very, very prideful. I think most people that are born and raised here are very aware of where they come from, and music is a big part of that, and we hold that sacred. I mean, the whole world comes here.
Yeah, that's a good word. It's sacred here in Memphis.
Yeah, we're discovering.
Yep.
Yeah,
the last few months have been just eye opening for me.
Sure,
game changing.
Yep.
And so many ways.
And you guys have just only scratched the surface, man.
We know.
Man,
but you're doing
52 episodes in a year, right?
Yeah, I know.
Now imagine, okay, you double up here and there like you two, and we had Rocco and Mike on here, and so let's say by a year's end, 65 people. Just to throw that number out there.
Sure.
That's nothing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just years of. Yeah, Jeff booking all these awesome guests for me.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, you stick with it. I mean, 19 years with my brother and I. We faced obstacles. Yeah, we had faced obstacle after obstacle. Being an all original band. Trying to find clubs that would support that type of music, and but we've held at it steady, and we've made it work our way. We don't push anything.
Yeah.
It just happens.
We just we never at this point never looked for a record deal.
That's funny right there.
Well, I mean,
why? Why did that make you laugh?
Well, because
viscerally like that.
Well, because come on, man.
Well, I mean, anyway, all we wanted to do is to be successful in our own hometown.
That is the number one goal.
And so if you're successful in the home of rock and roll, and you got all these musicians from Pete Mandela, God rest his soul,
Right.
to Sean Few, Jimmy Fulp, Josh Haynes.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna go to the Barcades, and then you're gonna go,
Sure.
you know, all. It's just crazy. So when we find successful when we find success in this town, is the compliments and the people wanting to book us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all we want to do is just be successful in Memphis.
Well, I think you're achieving that.
You've accomplished that goal.
Spades. Well,
yeah.
So this is where I'm going to make an executive decision and segue and
Right.
pivot this interview into,
You got a sound effect for that?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a segue sound effect, right?
Let's see here.
Ooh,
what can we do?
Like a dream sequence.
Hey, if anyone's going to request a sound, I'm all in. So I already used this for something else.
That would be if Tracy's entering the room. That's what that is.
The Ruby alarm.
What would the sound be for Chris walking in, since he's so laid back and quiet?
I like that.
That's cricket.
That's
that is cricket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cricket. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so now we still got to think of sounds for. I love this. Now we're derailing in the direction I want to go in. This is good.
Do you got a sound for a roller coaster climbing?
Oh,
You know what's making that?
that ain't it.
Okay.
That ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
Well, on Mondays, that's my sound.
Man, Chris
effect.
used to have he would assign people that call his phone, you know, alerts.
Yeah.
And my alert when I call his phone goes, bullshit alert, bullshit alert, bullshit alert.
Well, okay, so you guys were talking about just wanting to be super successful locally. Well, here's why we all know that you achieved this, because you guys are the undisputed Southern heavyweight champions of rock and roll, everybody.
And we can prove it.
Yes. So we want to talk some wrestling. I'm jumping into selfish mode here. I want to talk some wrestling.
We love wrestling.
And because you guys have this belt, which we're going to show here in a minute. So here's some context, you know. So
This is where I should have Jimmy Fulp waiting at the door, and I could just step out. He can step in.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
right.
guys, you just do wrestling.
So again, the night that you all came out for cricket, again, Niels and you guys, that night you filled in or stepped up. So you guys roll in with this wrestling belt, right? And I instantly fall in love with this whole premise, like this whole thing. Like I'm a wrestling fan, but the fact that you guys have a belt made called the Southern Heavyweight Champions of Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Well, let me
the
tell
greatest.
you the story about that. And
Yeah, so let's learn about the belt, and then let's show it now. Let's
Sure,
not let people
yeah.
hang on. So
Absolutely.
Well, we beat Jerry Lawler up because we found out he was only, 5 foot.
let's see. Let
Four.
you guys hold this.
You got it.
No, I thought Jerry Lawler was at least 7'4".
Yeah, on television.
I mean, that's what he looked like.
This is a real belt that you can wear. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this.
It's the gold belt, baby.
Yeah, baby.
But
So, all right. So I want to learn the genesis of this, and then the fun time that me and Jeff had with you and said belt at Neil's.
well,
So,
I can
wanna
tell
talk
you
about
this
that.
much.
It's wrestling, man.
We
love
are
it.
wrestling fans. We have fun with that belt, but I do have to put a side note out there because there's actually a couple of cats out there that think we're serious about this belt. Like,
Oh, are we breaking kayfabe right now?
well, no, I'm just putting this out there.
Sounds like we're breaking kayfabe.
I'm telling you this much. It is strictly for fun. We're
Yeah.
wrestling fans. We have fun with it. The media, the news station, and our friends, I don't like to call them fans, but our friends are the ones that gave us this title. Probably
Alex
14
Coleman at Channel 3.
Oh, that's cool.
14 or 15 years ago. And it's something we ran with. We did have a belt made.
And we thought it's, again, like rock and roll and wrestling to me was one and the same because wrestlers were like rock stars. They're on TV. They're at their concerts every Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Well, Jerry Lawler recorded with the Nunnery Brothers, which is a very well-known Memphis music stable.
They're creating storylines. They're creating a show and a performance within that ring. That same with music. You're trying to get a reaction out of another human.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what this belt has done a couple of times. But all it was a marquee. It's
It's a good way to promote.
it's
the
a good
band.
way.
Sure.
We are the Southern Heavyweight Champions of rock and roll,
That's what I'm
baby.
talking
You know.
about. Yeah.
And we just think it's a fun rock and roll wrestling thing. And but yeah, like I said, the wrestlers were they're big time. But we could also see the new wrestlers coming in who later became famous, like Hulk Hogan. You know,
Mhm.
Lawler was he was a master at bringing talent. He was a talent scout.
Yeah, and a booker, and kind of was in charge of storylines, and
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's why Vince McMahon hired him, because of everything he's done, from able to market or trademark
Right.
King of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon had to buy that from Lawler
and
for King of the Ring.
Another more like modern term is good on the stick.
Yeah.
So he was a hell of a promo.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
He was just quick and witty
Yeah,
and fast, and and so legendaries, and
Oh, he's got the best one-liners ever when he was.
but he would bring wrestlers in, like I said, from Hulk Hogan to the Undertaker came in under the name the Inmate.
Oh, the Inmate.
I
Yes.
did not know this.
I knew he came through Memphis. He had a couple different names.
Yeah.
I can't think of the other one. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
But to see all these people come through, and then later on, seeing them at the in the WWF, WWE, WCW,
Right.
but we just grew up with wrestling here in Memphis, and it was a special place, and it made the Mid-South Coliseum even more special, because we go to concerts there as well. We see our favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's just, I love the history of wrestling. I was at an age where I was spoon fed the sweet sugar of WWF and the whole gimmick cartoon.
Absolutely, yeah.
I ate it up. I was at the right age. I'm in the Northeast. I'm from Maine, so
Sure.
so we were getting WWF. That was my territory, right? So I was just spoon fed the most classic, late '80s
Oh yeah.
WWF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah. Oh man, Honky Tonk Man, all those crazy assholes.
yeah.
Well, Honky Tonk Man is actually Jerry Lawler's cousin.
That's
Did you know that?
Wayne Ferris.
Wayne Ferris.
Yeah.
Did you know
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Wayne started here.
Yeah, don't question him. I mean,
Oh, okay.
he knows.
I'm holding my own right now. I feel pretty good about this.
You are, man.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore. I can't
Yeah.
suspend my disbelief, but
Yeah.
but I love the history, and still to this day I love the art form.
I think
Yeah.
it's
You
more,
gotta love the art form.
It's more
so
the
cool.
memory
Yeah.
for us, because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
so ingrained as a teenager, preteen,
Yeah.
and it's just the memory of what it represents. Because they had us believing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we believed
Back
that
when
shit
wrestling
was
was
real.
real.
Yeah, man.
Saturday mornings, it was wrestling, and what was it? Magic Land?
Oh yeah,
That was on Sunday.
That was Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay.
Magic.
It was wrestling, then the Lone Ranger.
Okay.
I'm there, man. I'm still
I know.
there.
I remember it. I remember it.
I now there was a question I wanted to ask, and I think I know the answer to this, but Fast Mothers, baby faces or heels?
Ooh, good one. Baby faces.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I would have said baby face.
I would've-
It's
Now-
hard. You can't hate you guys.
There's a couple out there that think we're heels. but we're trying to solve those issues.
Of the five of you, who's the heelish?
Wayne.
Wayne Walker. I was gonna,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's the instigator.
Fighting words. It's out there now. You can't pull this back. It's the internet. It lives forever.
Well, I mean, he's too big to say anything to anyway, so he just gets away with it.
I knew I was going to enjoy this.
Oh, yeah.
Day. This
Right
is
on.
great.
Oh yeah.
So,
What are you a heel?
no, I'd want to be a baby face.
Yeah.
I don't like people hating me. It
Yeah.
bothers me.
Sure.
But also, it's better to be talked about than not talked about at all.
Right. So you saying that heels are talked about the most?
I would think for the most part, yeah.
Well, any wrestler, a lot of wrestlers, you learn that they prefer being heels.
Sure.
Oh yeah, man, they love it because they get to really act.
Yeah.
Normal.
Right. You can be more honest.
They get to act normal. Like
because
they really
everyone's
are.
got that string of just
Sure.
hate, like,
Yeah, they're walking down the house. Shut up, old lady. They used to trip me out. Like, man, he's yelling at this old lady. This is real.
So I want to throw up another picture here, and this this is now. Let's go back to the belt and that night at Neil's. Jeff, I think you orchestrated this picture, right? Jeff, Alex, go ahead and throw this picture up, right?
Yeah.
And as you what you're seeing is the Fast Mothers with Sean Few, me, and Jeff.
What a great night.
And this super cool moment where you guys let us get up there like that with the belt. Yeah. Sean's holding the belt, and
No, I was holding the belt.
Sean's a wrestling fan too.
That's right. You are holding the belt.
Yeah, I'm holding the belt.
Sean's off to the side.
Y'all gonna fight about it?
But well, who cares about that side of the picture? The other side of the picture is Mr. Tracy up there.
Oh yeah,
leg up, kissing the bicep.
That was perfect.
Yeah, and if you notice in my shows, that I'll do the Fargo strut.
Oh, we were just
dude. Okay, no. Here we go. We found a video called New Stacks.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And you
did the strut in the video, and Jeff was like, "Dude, look it, rewind it." And sure enough, you're doing the strut.
Back to the origin of the
all
belts.
about wrestling now.
That's where the belt started. When people saw that, they latched up. They knew what we were doing. It's the Fargo strut.
Man, kissing the biceps and my foot up in there. It's just it's fun, man.
That's Tracy with the gas pedal down on the front of the stage singing. And then again, it goes back to then Chris, like, all right, buddy, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, little brother. You gotta hold your ass back.
You're up here. I need you like down here. No, it works great. It's a great balance, right? Right.
Man, I can't wait for y'all to play again.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so good.
We can't
so, either.
We're fit to be
we live for it.
Yeah. So any place we want to go there, Jeff? Anything else?
Man.
Yeah.
It's kind of up to you guys. You got anything that we're leaving out that you want to talk about?
Oh, you know what? We're supposed to play a song. Hello.
Oh,
we're going to play a song.
Well,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, what I want to do is play it and then talk about it.
Sure.
I've made the mistake where like, well, let's talk about the song. And then 5 minutes later, I'm playing it. And people are probably like, dude, play the damn song. So we're going to play the song. It's off the album You're Damn Right, and it's called Crying Shame.
Yes.
And when we come back from the song, we're going to learn about the song and the album, and let's maybe get into the writing and producing process that you guys do. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out their single or a song off their album, You're Damn Right, Crying Shame. Well, there you have it, everybody. Crying Shame by the Fast Mothers. So let's talk about that song, the album. You're writing.
Before we do, I wanted to point something out. Before we listen to the song, you mispronounced the name of the album. You said "You're damn right." That is incorrect.
Sorry.
Damn right.
I mean,
You got to get this shit correct.
You can get me out of the Northeast, but you can't get the Northeast out of me. I'm always a Yankee with the accent.
I have faith in you that it's going to all work out for you.
In funny. Maine, growing up, it would have been "You're wicked right."
Yeah, wicked. I like that.
That's what it would have been.
Wicked,
yes. Right? Yeah, Bob, drinking your beer. So, I can get pretty deep. You should have heard me 16, 17 years ago when I first moved south. It was, it would be unrecognizable. It's amazing. I'm not saying it's giving me a southern accent by any stretch, but it has straightened me out.
Yeah, well, you like one
It brought me more towards the center.
Right.
Were you like one of those? Hey, over here, I'm over there, over here. You over there.
You fucking bastard.
Yeah. Fucking assholes.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
By the Fast Mothers. Crying Shame. Yeah. You want to talk about the song?
Absolutely.
Chris does.
Yeah. Yes. Wayne wrote that song. He brought it to the band room. This was during the height of the pandemic. We spent a lot of months writing because everything shut down.
You couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. And so we spent a lot of time writing. The funny thing about that is that normally after we release a record, we're already 6 or 7 songs ahead for the next record. And so we belted out quite a few. We only chose a few of those to put on the record, hopefully to leave a little bit for the next record. But it was a great process. Anytime you work with Jimmy Fulp, it's seamless. He's a drummer, and what drummer doesn't want to work with another drummer, you know?
Sure.
I have to take advantage of the opportunity to play a song. I'm not a sound, because I've now discovered this is Jimmy Fulp's favorite sound. So I think it announces patrons, and now it's gonna. Whenever Jimmy Fulp comes up,
that's him,
buddy. You own one of our resident sounds. Congratulations. So.
That's right. But
Tracy's like, fuck it. I'm gonna go back to my point.
Yeah, let's go back.
Just mention Jimmy Fulp.
Yeah, exactly. So with the pandemic and unfortunately the passing of some close friends that just couldn't kick the devil away from them. And that's what Crying Shame's about. It's, some are going to end up on the wall of fame. Some are going to end up a crying shame. And throughout the song, I'm saying, I'm crying. This is a crying shame, but I'm crying.
Right.
So it was a pretty deep song.
The whole record is deep, personal. A lot of personal issues we touched.
Yeah. There was a lot of things going on with each member of the band, and this was even before Cricket's diagnosis.
Right.
Wayne had some things going on, and he had to go to Michigan for surgery, and that was 3 years ago. But like Chris said, you couldn't go anywhere with the COVID,
right?
And everything was shut down, and so these songs came out of frustration, out of questions, out of losing friends.
Yeah, everything.
Everything just culminated in those couple of years, and you couldn't go outside to escape. You couldn't go anywhere to escape.
Right.
So we escaped through the music.
Mm-hmm. So then when did it circle back where now you're all in the same room with each other, rehearsing it and putting the pieces together and then hitting the studio? When did that happen? Was it 2021?
Yeah. It was 21 because we got finished in late 23.
I believe it was.
Because again, there was some things going on. I think Jimmy or some relatives of his got ill. So there was a lot of delays and stuff. A couple of us got sick, and but anyway, what was the question?
When did you finally get in the studio?
Oh yeah, just right there. 22 we spent all year just about, and like I said, it took us a long while. We want to take our time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to push it, and then knowing that these songs were pretty heavy to us, we believe it's one of our heaviest records as far as feeling emotionally heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Not thrash heavy or anything like that. But so yeah, and Jimmy took his time with it, and all the mixing and producing. Jimmy also contributed backing vocals, and we just had a blast with it. And like Chris said, we've done all of our records at Broken Snare.
4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
great.
such an easy environment, and it's just easy to work.
He becomes the 6th member, right?
Oh,
He
absolutely.
does, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good producer. Oh, that's a good relationship. If you have that with your producer, and then it works.
Yeah, and we trust him.
That's the key. You trust his advice or his ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll leave for the night after hearing things that we enjoyed and that we liked. And then we'll come in the next day and he'll be like, check this out. Look what I did to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa, dude, can we keep that? Yeah, it's in there.
He absolutely has free liberty.
Yeah, he has a lot of control on our stuff.
I remember shortly after I first saw you guys at Neil's, way before this podcast, I started following you on Facebook, and I remember looking back now, you guys had a cool CD release show, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about that. How'd that go?
Oh, that was tremendous for us. It was the first time that we had a CD release party at Neil's, and we were thrilled to death with the response. We were not expecting what happened. We have played a couple standing room only shows, but we thought
this was blowing our mind. It was
Yeah.
it was.
I hate that I missed it. I hate we were late.
Oh, it was a fantastic night. One of the best nights that I think we've ever had because of the friends that came out and supported and were really supportive of this new record, and mainly supportive of us coming out to see us play, because that's what we live for. That's really what we want.
I would gather Danny Day captured this.
Yeah, absolutely.
course,
Danny Day is actually...
He's a member of the band.
He
we
is.
have 2 members, or we have 5 members of the band, and we have Alan Bone, not drummer Alan Bone.
No,
but,
I knew he was talking about a different Alan Bone than what you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. And Alan Bone does all of our internet stuff, does all our posters, T-shirts, swag, all that stuff. And then Danny Day.
Yeah, Danny's been with us for quite a few years.
And he's doing
now.
what behind the scenes, Danny? The social media?
Absolutely.
He's just taking great pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing-
absolutely.
Yeah, and then because he was kind of just getting started, I guess, in the Memphis thing, but he really used us to get himself ingratiated.
It was a win-win. Absolutely.
It really was. We were getting great photos, and he was
absolutely.
getting great material.
Look,
Yeah.
And now we have to pay him because, I mean, he's
Yeah,
that
we discovered
damn...
him. Now we got to pay him.
No, we did
No,
not
I'm just
discover him.
kidding, yeah.
No, he is such a phenomenal artist at capturing
I love
the
Danny.
live
Mhm.
moment.
No eye contact, Danny. I love you.
Yeah.
And he is, he is a Memphis artist himself.
Yep.
He's
No
every
doubt.
he's every bit a fabric of the city, just
He-
as much as the musicians.
He captured and documented my official ribbon cutting launch of my business.
Yes.
I knew for a minute. I was like, "Oh, I'm bringing Danny in."
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know,
And
was
it
a
does,
no-brainer.
and it does benefit you for promotion and things of that nature.
course.
And it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
And above all, he's a great soul. you
Yep,
know.
sure is.
Absolutely.
That's what you're looking for in a person, regardless. So it's just a great advantage for you to be his friend. He's a good soul.
Yeah. And he does, there's always these gems. If he takes 400 photos, which he did, he close to 400 for my deal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So then you go through them though, and they're all great. But then when you see one.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's several in a pile, this pile, but then when one hits, and it's just capturing a perfect smile and face, and you on the mic or whoever, me talking to someone. There was one of me in the studio that's now my new business headshot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found one out of it. I was like, oh, there's my new headshot.
Absolutely.
Done. It's so crystal. And
I know for a fact that Danny Day also himself will, before he goes to bed, he'll spot something out of all those pictures, and he usually posts it as his
last picture,
his photo of the night before. But it's just he gets the same thrill. He finds that one picture himself, and it's like a light bulb, and he's damn good at what he does.
Oh yeah.
So he just did as we record this, Kitchen and the Cross.
Yes.
I butchered that in our intro. We just recorded earlier. So of course he was there. So he took all these photos of each band, right?
Yeah.
So it was great over the next few days after the show. Elevation's batch came out first because they played first, right?
Right.
So they just kept pumping out and so then there's all this buzz, all these great pictures are coming out, and sure enough, out of nowhere, everyone's changing their profile pic.
Oh yeah. We did the same thing.
Yeah. And so everyone, a ton of people have new profile pics from that night.
Danny Day.
Well, I must speak up
that night. Yeah.
I must speak up, and I challenge all musicians to do that. If your profile picture is a picture of Danny Day, go to his page, find his link, and tip the man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's an artist just like us.
Yeah.
And he deserves it. And it's right. It's listed on his page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's right plain as that. You can pay him through PayPal
absolutely.
And Venmo right there at his page.
Absolutely. I think every artist who uses his
and you could hire him for any event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Free advertisement, Danny.
Yeah. There you go, buddy. So let's I guess we'll wrap up back in the present here.
Yes.
So rehearsing. Is there any writing going on right now, or is it just kind of getting together and knocking off the cobwebs?
Actually, just getting together, knocking off the cobwebs, and
that the songs will come. They always do.
Oh yeah. The next rehearsal, I'm pretty sure, because we last night we had a 6-hour rehearsal, which is not uncommon for us at all, because we generally like hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
So we take breaks, and then
Of course, that shines through when you guys are playing together too.
Oh yeah, dude.
it really does.
When we're not playing or rehearsing, if you like to hang out with your bandmates, that's just a bonus because they're great guys. They're great to hang out with.
That means the world. That's everything.
But I could see us starting to write in the next couple of rehearsals for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Something will pop out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It always does.
Someone comes up with a little riff, and then next thing you know, 3 hours later, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
19 years of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen again.
It just seems to flow out. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, and is it vary? Are there moments where you, Tracy, will think of a melody and a lyric, and then the band kind of fits that? The other direction where they have something and you have to write lyrics to it. Is it a mixture of that?
It's a mixture of that, because it could go either way. But for the most part, Wayne will write a riff, and I will get a melody idea from that, whether I say, what you just played, that's going to be a chorus. So now let's find a verse, and he would write the verse.
Mm-hmm.
Or, vice versa. But
Right.
So yeah, he does all the music. He and Cricket, and they. I will start forming a melody around anything and everything they do,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I will, for lack of a better word, I would mumble or hum my melody.
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't have the words just right then and there. Sometimes I do, but yeah. And I'll go back and listen to what we did, and then I will form in the same melody, lyrics, word, story.
Because we
Lyrics,
we
word,
record rehearsals as well for
Yeah.
that.
So that way you can go back.
Well, for that
Oh,
very
yeah.
reason. If
Yeah.
you leave the room and Cricket starts noodling or playing on
Right.
something, you don't want to miss that
Yeah.
jewel.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
there's so many risks we've missed over the years because of not recording rehearsals.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll remember this later. I'll show it to the guys
Yeah.
later.
and you
Yeah.
It never
remember-
happens.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
So I will say, Chris, like it sounds like you took drums quickly. Like it came natural.
Well,
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I played, Dad got us instruments. Dad would call us on stage, as a matter of fact, and we would actually play. And it was either Tracy would play drums one night and I would do the percussion on his stage show, and then we'd switch up. But it was really something that I didn't get serious until Tracy approached me
Yeah.
about,
Summoned you. and
Let's-
said, we're doing this
yeah.
now.
we're going to honor our dad, and this is what we're going to do. So, about age 35, I went out and bought a Gretsch drum set, and we wrote 12 songs with the same 3 chords.
Rest is history.
It turned into a demo, a live demo that was recorded at the original Neil's, or not the original Neil's, one of the original Neil's on Madison, I
Yes.
believe the second location.
Uh-huh.
It was recorded live and picked up by radio somehow.
Wow.
And we wrote on that demo for 10 years until we found Wayne and said, you need to come help us.
We need some fresh songs here.
Please come help us.
So you guys captured lightning in a bottle, you think?
That's exactly what it is. You nailed it on the head. You cannot. We've tried to record
Man, it's
live
so
a few
hard
times,
to
but
record live. And this thing, it was our first show, and of course we dedicated everything to Dad, and it's just God had His hands on it. And I mean, the record came out even unmastered out of the board
it was Richard Butler
with
the sound man for Neil's.
Richard,
I
okay.
mean,
and the tones were so thick. And then once Crafton Barnes mastered it, Rock 103 was doing local music, and this live record was hanging with all the decibels on a professional CD. All the decibel levels were checked, for radio friendly,
Right.
and it was just thick, so thick, and it was magic.
Yeah.
It was magic in a bottle.
That's awesome that you have that forever.
absolutely.
It's true,
and due to Rick Cheddar
Yeah.
at the big time radio station he was at the time, he's
He was
the
at
one that
Rock
played
103
us.
at the time.
Well, I didn't know if we could mention that over here, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, Rick Cheddar, absolutely. Rick Cheddar and Niels, I would say, are responsible for launching this band.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Do you see, we don't hold this to you, but when you guys do your first show back, think it's Neil's?
We're not sure.
Good question.
We are working on a couple things,
Yeah.
but we're not sure. We would always love to play Niels.
course.
Niels is home. Niels
Would be the first choice.
it will be the first choice.
Yeah.
actually.
Don't want to put you on the spot, though. We don't need to
No.
announce any.
No, we'll
No, we'll let you know when it
Yeah,
announces.
When
for
it's
sure,
time for
brother.
announcements, though, we want you guys back here. We'll
Oh, yeah.
we'll announce it right here.
Please,
Absolutely.
please feel free to involve us. We
Yeah.
would love to help.
Well,
absolutely. You guys are going
Well,
to
I
be
got-
involved.
Yeah, I got
We're inviting ourselves right now. I just want you to know.
It's
It's like a Jedi mind
you
trick.
gotta-
you know?
really.
You got a sound effect for done deal? Because we'll do
Done
it right
deal.
now.
Oh, well, sure. Something like that.
There
There it
you
is.
go.
Done
Hey.
deal.
Done deal.
That
It's
works.
money, baby.
That's a gentleman's handshake if I ever seen one.
Well, look, man, that was fun.
We appreciate
Thank
it,
you
man.
so much,
man.
Jeff.
Damn,
You guys
I
are
was-
doing a great thing, man.
And I'm a
man.
huge fan of yours, Jeff.
Oh man,
Dude,
thank
I
you.
swear.
Yeah, drummer man.
Yeah,
And
yes, sir.
Keeper of the low end. I've been watching your videos.
Keeper of the low end.
You're pretty intense, dude. I've
Thanks,
been
buddy.
watching your videos.
Someday I'll be in a band again. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But so this is awesome. We're not gonna say bye yet, though. Me and Jeff are gonna have our conversation with the audience for a minute. Here.
Absolutely.
You know, we gotta establish some to-dos,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So first, they're gonna go to our Facebook page. Where is that, Jeff?
That's at the Rhythm Section Pod.
All right.
And
nice.
if that's not good enough for you, check us out on YouTube.
That's right.
We love you to see the video there. And of course, Spotify, Stitcher, and Apple is where you can get all the audio.
Every Monday, 6 p.m., YouTube, Facebook, full video. Check it out. And then we release clips all week. So, but as you're watching this episode, we're going to have like 4 clips preceding this. And the wrestling belt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's first choice for me. I mean, that's getting clipped out. Executive decision. I have the power.
You're damn right.
You're damn right. The wrestling belt's coming out. Well, let me get it right. The Southern Heavyweight Champions of Rock and Roll belt is coming out.
Yes,
so Linktree, check that out in our description. Again, that will just take you everywhere that we just described. Patreon, y'all keep stepping up. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Next week, as we record this, I'm going to print out all the names. Yeah. And we're gonna reread them out. So, but as always, too, thanks for engaging. Thanks for following. Thanks for supporting. It goes full circle, right?
Thank you.
This is a win-win for everybody.
Thank you for having us.
So you guys, if you guys make us successful, I promise you, I'm going to continue to widen this spotlight.
That's
for this,
exactly
for this
how it works.
Music, for this music and scene, and I'm just glad I get to do it with my buddy Jeff. Man,
absolutely,
appreciate you, man.
You guys are great, man.
Awesome. So it's been fun. Thanks for doing this again. This is not the last time you're going to be up here. I promise you.
Absolutely, it won't be.
The Fast Mothers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. Thank you.